Hello everyone. First of all, I would like to thank Architecture for Masters Jamia Millia Islamia for providing me this opportunity to present my paper on loss of vernacular architecture in Kusmhi. Kusmhi village is situated in Simri Bakhtiyarpur, Saharsa district in Bihar. This village is prone to annual flood from Kosi river, which is very devastating in nature. Kosi river is also called Sorrow of Bihar, and it causes loss of life and wealth every year. The history of this village dates back to 1680 during the rule of Mughal Emperor Shah Jahan, in which a Muslim Zemindar family from Jaunpur, Uttar Pradesh migrated here. They were given the permission to settle here by the local ruler, and the condition was if they clear the forest cover. And so over the 400 or 500 years, there are almost 58 villages situated in and around Simri Bakhtiyarpur, and those people who came from Jaunpur and their descendants are popularly known as Jaunpuri even till date. The name Kusmi came from kusum flower, which was abundant in nature. In the map also you can see the river stream of Kosi river, and in another map a satellite image of the Kusmi river where you can see different mohallas in the village. In the last image is the aerial view of the Kusmi village, where you can see the mix of kacha and pakka houses, and in the background Kosi flood can be seen clearly. This village is divided in three different neighborhoods called mohallas, and they are Kunjratoli, Kusmi and Charapati. Kusmi lies in the center and is populated by the landlords. Kunjratoli is on the north side, which is populated by vegetable vendors, workers and laborers. Charapati is on the south side and is populated by the farmers. In the panoramic view on the right side, you can see very clearly densely packed huts, and also palm trees can be seen, which is abundant in nature and also used as building material. In the Kusmi village, there are ponds overlooking the houses, and also there are a lot of open spaces here. And in Kunjratoli, there are mix of huts and also brick and mortar houses. On the main road approaching the village lies the chowk. A chowk is a marketplace or a center point. Here you can see a lot of shops, salons, tea points, primary or middle school, a mosque, etc. This place is also very important as it provides a space for social gathering, as well as a lot of political discourse takes place here. This place also provides access to public transportation. Vernacular architecture of the village is inspired by the climatic conditions and the local materials available here. And we have three different typologies of houses here. They are thatched huts, mud houses and courtyard houses. Thatched huts and mud houses can be seen in Charapati and in Kunjratoli. Courtyard houses can be seen in the Kusmi. All the spaces and activities are concentrated around the central courtyard and organized in a system from the most public to the most private space, which are as follows: from public to semi-public, then to semi-private, and finally to private. Public spaces have the entrance and a darwaza. Darwaza is actually a guest house that is especially used by the guests or as well as the male members of the family. Semi-public space has a courtyard, which is again a gathering place for the female members. Semi-private area is osara and the kitchen. Osara is like a veranda, and private space have living rooms. Some common features of the vernacular architecture seen here are courtyards, veranda, high ceilings, attic and sloping roof. Sloping roof is most common among the three mohallas or three different typologies because of the reason that this area receives very heavy rainfall annually. Building materials used here are mud, bamboo, timber, bricks, pot tiles, palm trunks, etc. Bricks and pot tiles were constructed or manufactured locally. Huts were made using thatched roof and bamboo sticks. If you talk about the courtyard houses, they were made using brick walls. Those walls were plastered with surkhi lime and mud mortar was used. These houses had attic, and also there were ventilators above the veranda. And in the roofing system, the palm trunk was used, the main trunk was used as a horizontal member, and bamboo and some woods were used as the sloping members to make the whole structure, and over the top pot tiles were used. Courtyard houses of Jaunpuri Muslims. These houses were planned according to the Parda system among Muslims, which separates male and female spaces. Male spaces were called darwaza and female spaces were called angan. The most household activities were done by the female members in the courtyard and in the verandas. The activities by the male and also the guests were invited at darwaza. The houses were constructed on platform approached by series of steps. Inside there was central courtyard, and on all the four sides there were verandas. And from the verandas the living rooms were linked, and on the other side were the kitchen and the storage. The toilet was located away from the house because of the hygienic reasons. Here you can see in the picture there are some arches, and also the roof of the veranda and the living room, they are differential height, and this is mainly for the ventilation purpose. So the main purpose was privacy, and also due to the architectural or the local materials and building techniques, these houses were very cool and had a very comfortable environment. Houses of Kunaratuli. Kunaratuli have thatched huts which are mainly constructed by the family members itself. These huts are very small in size. They do not have a courtyard. For them, a street acts as a space for common meeting area for the children to play, and as well as a space for their livestock. Some of the houses, they have semi-pakka houses, and they have a common, very small common courtyard that is being shared by more than one family. Most of the houses do not have toilet, and that is why open defecation is common here. The streets are narrow, and also the whole of the settlement or the mohalla is very high density. Houses in Charapati have mixed typologies. They have mud houses, huts, as well as small courtyard houses. But at present, mud houses are not livable as they are in dilapidated conditions. Courtyard houses are small in nature, and most of the family, they share courtyard among each other. Other houses, they are made of huts and are very small in size, similar to what we see in Kunaratuli. Loss of vernacular architecture. Here we will talk about some events that acted as a catalyst and changed the vernacular architecture of the village. The first one being 1934 India-Nepal earthquake that was so devastating in nature that it destroyed some of the houses, and most of the houses developed cracks on the walls. In 1960-70 Panchayat election that created awareness among the people, and after that the drought and the green revolution made people migrate to different parts of the country, and they became financially independent and had enough money to construct their houses. In 2006, the broad gauge rail line came that opened the gate to different parts of the country from where the materials could be transported very easily. Another social feature was the partition among the families. Here in this picture you can see the first one, the very big courtyard, and there were 8 living rooms and 4 verandas. That was for one family. But after the partition, this was divided into 2 families, and in another generation among 4 families, and now you can see even the courtyard and also the open courtyard of the darwaza area has been divided. So finally now we can see they have one living room, and some of the family are in such a bad condition that they have divided even the living room as well. So in these pictures you can see there are the division created by the walls among the families. Over the period of time, sloping roof tiles were removed and replaced by concrete roofs. Courtyards were removed or slowly became smaller. Most of the houses were constructed without taking in consideration the local climate and weather. To measure this loss of vernacular architecture, I conducted a survey and found out that only 29% of the houses still have vernacular architecture features, whereas the rest 71% of the houses have been replaced by concrete buildings. And if we talk about this in terms of mohallas, so the Kusmhi has only 10%, Charapati has 30%, and Kunjatoli has 32%. This result also shows the link between the economic condition and the modern building construction. As we see, the Charapati and Kunjatoli, they do not have a good economic background. That is why still they are lacking behind in concrete construction and the modern building construction. Whereas the Kusmi, which the people, they are financially independent and they have a good financial background, and that is why we can see most of the houses, vernacular architecture houses, have been replaced and only 10% is still remaining. To conclude this research, I would like to highlight some benefits of vernacular architecture that have been lost. These are cool indoor environment that was made possible due to mud walls and use of natural materials, thermal insulation by the help of high thermal mass of the building, ventilation with the help of courtyard, veranda and high ceilings. The construction was also affordable due to local materials. Rainwater runoff was also possible due to sloping roof. And they also promoted local art and culture. It encouraged and promoted local artists who are now forced to migrate to different parts of the country. Another factor is that a lot of people who are reluctant to move out and construct new homes even when they have enough space. And there are some reasons for that. These are social, economic, and safety reasons. Social reason is that for ages people have lived together on the basis of caste, creed, and occupation, thereby signifying the need of humans to live in familiar and like-minded surroundings. This was said by Gulati. Economic reason is that infill development, they use existing building materials and that saves a lot of construction cost. Safety reason, which is not a major concern now, but in the last 10 years or before that it was a major concern. Finally, I would like to highlight some of the reasons for the loss of vernacular architecture, that is division of property in family, mainly in Kusmi Mohalla, social status in both Kusmi and Kunjaratoli, economic stability in all the three Mohallas, financial problem mainly in Kusmi, central government scheme Indira Awas Yojana. It also impacted a lot because it highlighted the construction of concrete buildings, and lack of maintenance in Kusmi and Charapati. Thank you all.